For quite some time now, the Call of Duty player base has been in a perpetual state of disdain towards Activision, with gamers threatening to move to other annual shooter franchises. Now, I can't pinpoint when this began, and while I could easily guess it was around the time of either Modern Warfare 3 on consoles or Modern Warfare 2 on the PC, what I can tell you is that it's gotten to the point where any discussion on a Call of Duty related forum will be about how anything Activision does is literally killing the series and making them want to pick up Battlefield 1 and trade in the Call of Duty at GameStop. Even when there's a good Call of Duty title, something out there is going to start a huge fight in the Call of Duty community, and one such example is what just happened with Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, Modern Warfare Remastered just came out last month amid tons of hype, and just recently it had its price cut due to the fact that it's only sold bundled with a higher cost version of Infinite Warfare. And while sales of Infinite Warfare have been poor, and Infinite Warfare is yet another divisive Call of Duty. Modern Warfare Remastered, on the other hand, has received much praise from the Call of Duty player base with relatively little criticism. After all, Call of Duty 4 was a classic Call of Duty for many, and one of the early big 360 games, which is why many gamers traded it in for World at War or Modern Warfare 2. While I made a video showing flaws in Call of Duty Remastered, such as the poor netcode, that didn't stop defensive Call of Duty players from coming in and telling me that Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered was a perfect game, and that I needed to get better at the game. Even though the console version wasn't that bad, it still had many of the flaws the PC version I reviewed talked about, such as the netcode, for example. Until the other day. You see, Activision just released an update for Modern Warfare Remastered that added in more maps as the game launched without all the maps. If the update just ended there, it would be relatively complaint-free, as many gamers probably were getting sick of bog and shipment by now. However, Activision decided to add in changes that piss off the Call of Duty player base, by backporting in features from newer Call of Duty titles, and let's talk about this a bit. Now, does anybody remember Halo 2 Anniversary on the Xbox One, which was part of the Master Chief Collection? The single player in it was the same old single player you played on the original Xbox, on a 360 with the hard drive, or on your PC. However, now there was a button that allowed you to toggle between the original graphics and sound, and newly remastered graphics, sound, and cutscenes. This was very well received. The multiplayer, on the other hand, well, did anybody even care about the multiplayer in Halo 2 Remastered? It was like Halo 2 in name only, with weapons and features from newer Halo titles appearing alongside remakes of only a handful of the maps. Button glitches and other features from the original were missing as well, and all in all it was forgettable. At least the Master Chief Collection made up for it in part by throwing in Halo Anniversary single player, Halo 1's multiplayer, Halo 3, and Halo 4 as well, along with every map from all the Halo titles, including the PC-only maps from 1 and 2. Its implementation was horrible, but at least 343 had the right idea. Modern Warfare Remastered, on the other hand, has just gotten worse for players who wanted an exact remake of Call of Duty 4 with better graphics, but the same exact gameplay as the original title, down to the littlest details. Now, on one hand, there were already some gameplay differences. For example, domination now has half times, and helicopter kill streaks don't add to your kill streak reward counter. On the other hand, Raven Software and maybe somebody at Activision too decided to change up gameplay even more with this new update. Raven decided to add in female characters for multiplayer because, it's the current year, and in this current year, people must be able to virtually kill both genders equally. After all, it's cheaper to add them in than it is to risk having a Kotaku article written about how gaming needs more diversity targeting Call of Duty. Raven has also added in weapon skins via supply drops, which is a sore point for many gamers. After numerous gamers accused Advanced Warfare and newer titles of being pay to win due to this feature and weapon variants, along with specific guns being locked away until you got one in a supply drop, it was obviously coming. After all, they're just skins, and Activision knows that people throw money at small pieces of DLC like this. This seems to be the biggest complaint with gamers, who ironically are threatening to move to another game franchise that does the same exact thing, except it's not Activision, so it's okay when they do it. However, those are just cosmetic and not gameplay changing. What is gameplay changing are two different things. Some new game modes have been added, both Gun Game, which existed in the original via mods, and Hardpoint, a King of the Hill style mode present in newer Call of Duty titles. What has also been changed is now melee weapons exist. While these are reskins of the knife, Call of Duty 4 did not feature melee weapons, and now you're likely going to see people running around with a shovel or beer bottle killing people similar to the people who run around knifing people in newer Call of Duty titles. However, from the matches I played, I noticed the older problems were still there, and that's a far bigger problem in the grand scheme of things. Especially when the netcode in Modern Warfare Remastered is still garbage, along with the spawns being horrible still and ping counters still being absent. I mean, I think it says a lot about the Call of Duty player base that they are more concerned about skins on a gun than the code of the game itself. But then again, I'm not a blame master with Jordan's, Beats, and Apple products pretending to be a tactical soldier somewhere, so I guess I'm just not in the right state of mind to understand these complaints. Perhaps the most important thing you can learn from this is if you want Call of Duty 4, the way it was back in the day, just put the damn disc in your 360. If you trade it in for World at War or Modern Warfare 2, it's still a few bucks at GameStop. If you sold your 360 for 15 bucks at GameStop, you can still find 360s at Cash America or at any pawn shop in your area. And I think that's all that needs to be said, really. If you want the original, play the original. I mean, it's not that hard to do. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.